Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 2019 Rimac C2. Now this was unveiled at the 2018 Geneva Motor Show, and production started in 2019 with 150 units planned, each of which have already sold for nearly 1.8 million euros, making it one of the most expensive cars not only of 2019 but of the last couple of years. And yeah, this is Rimac's second vehicle after the Concept 1, which was also an electric vehicle, and yeah, this has a reported 400 miles of range, which is incredibly impressive for a hypercar, let alone an electric vehicle like this. So yeah, which is I think pretty much more than some Teslas, which, considering this has far more power, far more torque, far more acceleration and far more of a top speed than any Tesla, then yeah, it really does show how much technology has gone into this. Speaking of power, this hypercar has 1,887 horsepower, 1,695 pounds-feet of torque from a series of lithium batteries producing 120 kilowatts an hour, which power 4 liquid-cooled electric motors placed at each wheel, making this an independently all-wheel drive vehicle. So no one wheel is ever going to have the same amount of power as another one, unlike a four-wheel drive vehicle which has to have a certain amount of split between the rear and the front, which means that yeah, in terms of handling wise, it can be one-wheel drive at certain times to get you around the corner as best as possible, which is yeah, really rather good when you're dealing with nearly 2,000 horsepower. Granted, it does weigh a fair amount because of all those batteries and electric motors at 4,299 pounds, which, to put it in comparison to the Koenigsegg Agera RS, which has 1,300-ish horsepower, that's about 1,200 pounds less than this. So yeah, weight is a big disadvantage with this car, to be honest. And another big disadvantage, as far as I'm concerned, is the looks, which are really rather boring, to be honest, especially at the front. Side profile is pretty generic for a hypercar of this type, and the rear is a little bit better than the front, but still nothing spectacular, which, when you consider the amount of power, torque, speed and acceleration this car has in the go, for it to look as bland as this is yeah, big shame, to be honest. It does, however, have butterfly doors, which does somewhat make up for it, and a really rather nice interior for a car of this type. It's yeah, really rather ergonomic and yeah, pleasant place to be, to be honest. But yeah, another bad thing is the fact that it's only available in this really rather boring grey colour, and yeah, the interior is pretty grey as well. Though it is a nice place to be, it's just not a very stylised kind of place to be. So yeah, that is a big shame, and yeah, for a car of this type, I really would have liked it to have looked as good as it is in terms of acceleration and speed, which it's amazing at. So yeah, to see how amazing it is at acceleration and top speed, we're going to get out onto the open road and see just what it can do. So yeah, we've had to be at this property on the game because it's one of the few that actually has the panning shots in the correct form, unlike the castle that I'm usually at. So yeah, power wise, this car is hugely impressive, and yeah, inevitably that leads to an impressive rate of acceleration and an impressive top speed, especially for an electric car, as electric cars are usually really rather hampered by with their top speeds, because how electric motors work. They have a limit a lot lower than a geared combustion engine car. So yeah, really does have top speed and acceleration on the go to match other vehicles, or exceed them really, because its acceleration might well only be marginally better than some other electric vehicles, but the top speed really does make this car stand out quite a fair bit, to be honest. Speaking of acceleration, 0 to 60 in a really rather impressive 1.850 seconds, 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds, and it will go to a top speed of 258 miles an hour, which is yeah, really rather ludicrous. And you can see the kind of acceleration we've got going even just on this kind of short straight here. If we open up the taps even on a longer straight like this, you can see that it's relentless in terms of its top speed. And because it has motors on each wheel and it's electric, you've got near instantaneous torque off the line, which is always advantageous. But unfortunately the amount of weight that this car has going for it does really rather limit the handling as far as I'm concerned. It does feel really rather numb and unresponsive in areas, and yeah, for whatever reason there feels like there's a really distinctive lack of traction at times. I don't know whether or not it's because of the tyres or the suspension that are just being overwhelmed by the huge amount of torque and power, but yeah, at times you just feel like you're really on the edge of grip. So yeah, I guess you could say that does make it exciting in some kind of regards, but because you've got no engine noise, you know, those thrills are few and far between, to be honest, because yeah, the lack of engine noise means you're not really sure how quick you're going unless you're looking at the speedometer. So yeah, unfortunately it's only really got its acceleration and speed that are working for it. The handling just isn't fun enough to really recommend, and yeah, the amount of weight that it's got going for it really does mean that you can't really be as tough on it as you would be able to with a Koenigsegg or a Lamborghini or anything like that. Now granted, it does have more power than those kind of vehicles, which does make it more impressive, but you know, only having impressive performance in a straight line doesn't make an impressive vehicle overall. It's kind of like a person who's really rather intelligent, but their personality is rather lackluster. They're a dull person to be around, and they don't look that great either. So yeah, that's how I see it really, as a you know, as a comparison. It's got a lot going for it in terms of performance, but when it comes to cornering, looks, general design, and general excitement in terms of, you know, the kind of things you'd expect from a hypercar in terms of engine noise and really rather fun handling, it's just really rather lacking in those departments, unfortunately. But as a second car from a really rather small car company who's doing things that no other car company is doing in terms of electric vehicles, then yeah, it is impressive, and yeah, I can't deny that the acceleration and the speed is exciting, but as soon as it comes to any form of a corner, it loses that excitement really rather quickly, unfortunately. But I'm so glad it's in the game. I wish we did have more electric vehicles in this game. We've not had a great amount of electric vehicles in a Forza game since I think Forza Motorsport 4, and even then a few of those were hybrids, so yeah, I really wish we had more in the game, quite frankly, because yeah, electric vehicles have come by huge leaps and bounds over the years, and yeah, they deserve their representation on games like this just as much as combustion engines do. So yeah, I would like more from electric vehicles, to be honest, even if it's Teslas or, you know, the more slower EVs from bigger car companies. It wouldn't be nice to have them nonetheless. But yeah, I highly recommend getting it. It's part of the festival playlist at the moment. You only have to get 50%, which is pretty easy, to be honest. You only have to do a few of the championships or whatever to get up to that rate, and yeah, you can also drive this in a rivals event as well if you wish. So yeah, highly recommend getting it because it is hilariously fun to drive in a straight line. Just a shame it's not quite as good anywhere else. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.